Hello everyone. So today I'm going to be showing you how I make my shaving cream bars. So these are the beautiful shamrocks. I picked up the molds on Amazon. If you check in the video description, I think I can still put the link for where I got these molds at. So my molds are all prepped. This is what the shaving cream bar is going to look like. I'm going to set this aside for right now. I want to show you how well this lathers. This cheap brush. I'm going to get some hot water into it. Literally, guys, I found it as like a makeup brush or something like that. I actually picked up the tins on Amazon as well. Sometimes it can take a little bit to get the bar started. But I want to show you that this lathers incredibly well. So it's just a wonderful, wonderful bar. And I'm only using sodium hydroxide. I'm using this as a cold process soap method. So I'm not using two different kinds of lye for this one. Which some of you people, if you have seen other videos on shaving cream bars, this is not going to be your typical video, I don't think. So, over here I've already got my coconut oil pre-measured. This one I have got beef tallow, which yes, I've rendered that myself. I've got shea butter, cocoa butter. I've got my total weight of water in these two containers. So I've got my goat's milk here, it's liquid chilled, and I've got my water, my purified water here, which is also liquid chilled. Well, I guess it's not ice, so of course it'd be water, right? And I've got my sodium hydroxide, my lye. So everything is ready to go. I am going to put a hairnet on because you want to make sure you do that, especially you ladies if you have long hair. And then time to suit up, guys. Safety first. But I'm not always good about doing that. See, now both my gloves are both my hands are gloved, and now I'm putting on my very fancy goggles. Alright, sitting down to create this beautiful mess. Now, I get my bars really, really white, and I'm going to show you the method and how I use that. Now, for my coconut oil, I'm just going to leave that solid because I'm going to be using a heat transfer method. However, this beef tallow, shea butter, cocoa butter, I need to melt that. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick that in my microwave. And now I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to add my sodium hydroxide to my water. And sometimes this can get kind of staticky, so you could rub the outside of the container with the dryer sheet, and it does help. Alright, that's in there. Now I'm just going to stir this up really quickly. It makes vapors, it's going to make heat. Because any reaction with lye and anything is more heat. And as you can see, my jar is already getting steamy. This is probably why, if you have a metal container, use that because that's safer. Correction, stainless steel only. Probably put the how you make soap, the safety, what you need in the video descriptions. So look in the description box. And I wanted to make sure all of that is totally dissolved. I'm still going to leave this somewhat fairly warm, actually pretty hot. Reason being is I'm going to use the heat from my sodium hydroxide water my lye water solution, to melt my coconut oil. Now typically you want to make sure that you keep your lye water solution and your oils between 80 and 95 degrees. That will help prevent a process called gel. And since I'm using goat's milk as well, goat's milk has sugars and stuff in it, and the reaction with those sugars in the milk with lye water is more heat, meaning your milk can burn. So it will scorch and it will turn brown. So in other recipes, people, when they use goat's milk, they will ice their milk first and then add their sodium hydroxide to their milk. I'm not using that method because you can still burn your milk, so I just forego it. So besides, I never know how many batches of soap I'm going to make in a day. So this method has worked really, really well. So half your water weight, 1 part milk, 1 part water. Add your lye, which is already here. Add your lye to your water and just kind of I'm going to let that get a little bit clear. It's mostly clear already, so it's almost ready to go. So I've got my lye water done, and I don't know, I'm such an airhead sometimes. So gelling, what happens with gel is the heat creates kind of it cooks itself to death, basically. And sometimes in certain areas of your soap bar you'll get like dark circles and things like that. So that's why you want to keep, if you're going to melt all your oils and stuff, keep your oils between 80 and 95 degrees. Keep your lye water also within that same temperature area, because when you mix the two together, you're gonna get more heat. So whatever you start with, expect more heat. So if these were both melted and hot at, over 100 degrees, then yeah, I'm gonna get gel. So I like to try and prevent that, and especially since I've got the sugars in the milk, that also adds more heat. More heat also creates a faster trace, which, because I'm using such hard oils, that's not always a good thing, because that means my soap will trace really fast and it will get hard really, really fast. Alright, so I've got my liquefied beef tallow, my shea butter, my cocoa butter. That's all in there. Set that aside. I don't need that anymore. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to grab another spoon. Stainless steel spoon. For safety, Going to go ahead and start mixing that together a little bit. Alright, that's good enough for right now, because I'm going to now add my lye water solution. Now if you take the back of your spoon like this and just pour over the back of the spoon, you will prevent splashing, which I should have done a long time ago before I dumped like half that amount of lye water on my own self. That was an entertaining day. Thankfully I did have my my vinegar and my cold water and soap handy, so I could neutralize the lye and then wash that sucker off myself. And I ended up not having any severe lye burns because of that. In fact, I don't even think it really even got red much. So I really lucked out on that one. So safety, make sure you have your vinegar to neutralize, but wash that off immediately, because that that vinegar will create a different kind of a chemical with the lye that will still burn you. So lye water, or vinegar, neutralize, and soap and water, get that stuff off of you. I'm gonna keep stirring this with my spoon until all those little chunks are gone. And again, this is already pretty warm, So it's going to trace fairly quickly. Now trace is when your soap leaves a trace behind. This is more, it's more like a liquid right now. A thicker liquid, but want to make sure it's all mostly done there, and I think it's about there. I'm going to take my stick blender, stick it in there. I'm going to burp it, make sure all the air bubbles are out because I don't want to have little white air bubbles in my soap bar, even though it will be a very white soap bar. Gonna quickly do that. I'm gonna watch for any oil on the top. I don't know if I can zoom this in. You can see this, but on the side there, still got a little bit of oil right there. So that's good right there. I'm just put air bubbles underneath that. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add my milk. I don't want to make sure that this is all stirred beforehand because this will trace fast. Okay, I gotta start working faster. I don't want to have any oil rivers, so I gotta make sure I don't have oil and then soap. I want to make sure everything is all incorporated. Trace is when it, oh, it's already, that's a much thicker trace than I wanted. Trace is when it leaves kind of a trace behind. Just kind of like that, as you see my oil drippings there. So, yeah. And that's already thickening up right before my eyes. So this is where I have to move fast if I'm going to get a nice pour on my soap bars. I don't remember how much this makes. So, go for it. 1 bar. 2 bar. Whoop, that's a little full. 3 bar. 4. 5. 6. Okay, I'm gonna need to unfill some of these. Just a little. Yeah, that looks about right. As you can tell, it's really already starting to thicken up. And that is the nature of using hard oils in your soap, is you will get a very fast trace. I can just take the rest of that, kind of do that. Now I will go ahead and give this another good wiggle, make sure everything is in the bottom. I can tap it down, kind of like that. And I'll stick it in my fridge. And that will help also prevent any kind of gel because, again, I did this kind of hot. Alright, so I'll be back with an unmolding. And yeah, you can already see how much it's already thickening up. It's pretty cool. Alright, so I'll be back with the video of the unmolding. Alright, see you guys later. Hi everyone, it's only been a few hours, about 3, maybe 4 hours, but it's time to unmold these bars. So what I'm going to do is just gently pull the edges away. This one looks like it might have gelled just a tiny bit in the center. You can see just a little bit of a darker ring, but that's alright, that's alright. So I'm going to take a knife, go ahead and just clean up those edges. Just that little bit, just like that. Mind you, these are still a little bit on the lie heavy side because they have not gone through saponification yet, but these are really white bars and they just turn out just lovely. So that's that, and I'll just get these unmolded. So now you can see how they really work. They're really nice. I really enjoy these. You saw earlier how well they lather up. So I will hopefully be able to sell these for the Christmas time. If you are interested in having a unscented shaving cream bar, then this might be an avenue that you might want to consider. So I will see y'all later, and may you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.